The Maestro.
I know that.
That's it.
The Maestro.
The Maestro. Durty.
Schlag.
Come on, y'all.
Really? I think that would be cool though. Why? The Maestro.
Schlag. Oh.
Let it go.
How about you hold it?
There's a lady in the waiting room. She got legs that run forever.
Welcome back to another episode of my Dirty Shorts. I'm sorry, Maestro's Dirty Shorts. You're all in it. Enjoy it. You're welcome. Today, let's talk about bigger picture. And hopefully it's something that you can take with you. What separates the good teams from the okay teams, from the teams that are a hot mess? Yes, it's communication. We can say all those things. You can want to say you don't have to like each other to play well together. We've seen that throughout the history of every game, by the way, every professional game, even college games, where there were teammates who just did not care for each other. And that's just the way it was. But one thing that all those teams do have in common is that they play for the person to the left of them or to the right of them. They make themselves better. They do what they need to do to add up to be a larger part of the greater whole. When you have that kind of attitude first, your team is going to be more successful. There is a reason when the healthcare industry started provide more medical doctor scholarships and more nursing scholarships, that they went to the team sports first. Because of all the fancy testing that they do now, people who have played team sports, people who understand that team mentality always seem to be better as teammates in the professional industries. Even when you look at the elite special operation groups, one thing that most of those cats have in common when they go in is that they played some level of team sports, many of them on a high level. So you see that carrying over to the other part of their life. And that is what separates those who are truly amazing and truly great. And that is they're able to take that same competitive nature, but also that same supportive nature, because those two things work hand in hand. I can be competitive against you, but still be supportive for your success, because the more successful you are, the more successful I will be. And that even comes down to opponents. I want my opponents to be good. Why? Because when I beat them, I want to say I beat the best, right? Like I'm sure they're saying about me. And that is just how it comes down. Team sports make a difference because it gives us an opportunity to be greater than we are on the singular. And how that translates into the rest of our lives, which for many of us will be a lot longer than our time on the bench, is this. You will always have a way to find success because you're always working to create success. And that is what you did on the teams that you played, whether they were good or bad. If you had the right attitude and you did what you were supposed to do, you were always working for a way to create that greater success. And that is immensely important to carry you throughout the rest of your days, because we are always more oft remembered for the things we have given to those around us, particularly to those who did not have anything, who could not get things for themselves, who could not defend or help themselves, than the things that we did for ourselves. That being said, take this time now and enjoy that process. Your teams will never be the same from year to year, season to season. And that was always one thing that took me back at the end of every season. No matter what sport I was playing, I would find myself looking around the locker room the last few weeks, especially the last weeks, and particularly the last day, knowing that this group of guys will probably never be together again. Many of you have heard the story. I was lucky enough to play with a core group of guys from 5th grade to senior year in high school, and we were very, very, very successful. But there was still that feeling toward the end of the year, because there would be some people who weren't part of our core group that would not make the team the following year, or just decide not to play, or would graduate, or would age out, or all those other things. So all those other things would happen. And as appreciative as I was of my core guys, I found myself missing those other guys that weren't necessarily in the locker room full time anymore. And I do remember the last night that the core of us were together. We talk about this a lot as we kind of communicate back and forth, and it was hard for us to sort of accept that out of all the years we had been together, out of all the years we were playing together, that was going to be the last night. Because think about it, from fifth grade, 8 years, almost 9 years of us being in a locker room together, and not just in one sport, in multiple sports. 9 years of us being together in a locker room. And that's not just during the school season. That was in the off season, in the summer, and travel ball, American Legion baseball, the whole nine. So our last night together as a team in the locker room, we just sort of sat there because it didn't really sink in that we were never going to lace them up together again. And it was good to have that moment. So I'm suggesting to all of you out there, don't let that moment pass. Enjoy your teammates while you have them, no matter how you might go at each other. Enjoy what you have, because there's a lot of people that wish they had a little bit of the gift that we get to get as we perform in sports on a regular basis. Thank you for checking it out. I'm going to ask you guys another question here. So here we go. When we think about those moments that translated outside of basketball, the things that you did outside of basketball or outside of sports in general, that you can attribute that success to what you did in sports, why don't you go and share that here? I know I promised a fun topic. We'll get there in some of my shorts, but I just kind of want to ask that one because I want to know what you're thinking about right now. A lot of you are getting started. You're just getting started. You've done a lot already, but you're still just getting started. And it's a blessing to be able to watch you all move forward. But what success have you had off the court, outside of the court, that you would attribute to your success and your teamwork on the court? Drop it in the mentions here and just let me know what you think and, share a little bit. I can tell you for me, mine is totally about the teamwork, putting the team first, even in moments and times when I didn't feel I was ready. I knew I couldn't let the person to the left of me or the person to the right of me down. And it made me push hard. It made me push forward. And I hope that does carry over to the other things that I do, including here working in SimWorld Hoops. It's been a blast. Thank you so much for checking it out. And again, if I have to remind you about this, you need to start writing stuff down. Never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Oh, wait, you want me to read?
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Thank you again for checking out the Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time and talk dirty to me.
The Maestro. Dirty.
Short.